Welcome back to Math with me, Marisol Lopez, your second grade math virtual content specialist. Think of me as your teacher's helper. In this video, we will learn how to use the virtual clock tool, similar to the other virtual manipulatives we have been learning about, like the virtual geoboard we practiced with, the virtual tangrams, and the virtual cash register tools. I played around with this new virtual clock myself, and I'm going to show you some of the things that you can do with it. I'm sure you will enjoy using the virtual clock tool. All right, let's get started. In the lesson, whenever you see the little image of the clock that looks like this, you can click on it and it will take you directly to the virtual clock tools online. I have also included the website at the bottom of this screen, and we're going to click on it and practice together. When you arrive at the web page, it looks like this. It's just blank. You have to click where it has the little plus symbol and the clock. That means to add a new clock. And that is where you can select if you want geared hands, free moving hands, or the clock with fractions. For purposes of today's lesson, we are going to practice with the geared hand. So it looks like this. You can click on these little gray arrows to make the clock face larger or smaller. You can also click on the clock hands and they move like so. Now, you need to make sure for any of the buttons that you're going to press at the bottom, this menu bar, the blue one, you always need to make sure that your clock is selected, and you know that it's selected when you see the blue ring around and these gray arrows. So let's say I want to click on this icon right next to the one we just used with the plus sign. It's called Edit Clock when we hover over it. And there you can select if you want the hour hand to be shown, the minute hand, and if you want your hands labeled, which I always like them to be labeled so you know which one is the hour hand and which one is the minute hand. Also, for purposes of today's lesson, I am going to click here. So you see how the clock changed? We get to see the count of 5 around the clock, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to use that for later on. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit, you can always click on this, and this is a blank clock. Maybe you want to test yourself later. For right now, let's just stick to the 5s. All right, if we click on this next button that's showing 1:20, it opens up a little box at the bottom that tells you the time that is shown on the clock. So right now, it says that our clock is showing 12:54. Now, I want you to know that this, the round clock, we call that analog time, okay? I'm going to write it on the screen for you. And the clock at the bottom is called digital. So right now we are looking at the same time in 2 different formats, analog and digital. Now watch what happens when I move the hands on the clock, the analog clock. The digital time is also changing. It's showing 1:30, 1:50, 2 o'clock. If you click on the button with the 2 arrows at the bottom, it's telling you jump, and then it has a number 5. So right now it's 2 o'clock. What happens if we jump 5 minutes? It'll be 2:05. We can click where the 5 is and change the number. So let's say I want to make a jump of 20 minutes. Well, now it's 2:30. And if you want to watch the time run in real time, you can click on play. The second hand, which is the red one, is now moving slowly. And this gives you an opportunity to watch the clock move more like a real life clock. Or maybe you want to use this if you are starting an assignment and you want to see how long it takes you to complete the assignment. You can use this run option to time yourself. How many minutes passed from the start of the assignment until you completed the assignment? So far, our clock has been running for almost 1 minute. You see the time on the bottom, the digital clock has not changed. Now it says 2:31. So 1 minute has passed. If you click on this icon at the bottom, it also helps you measure time like this. You click on it, you're going to see this little check mark. You click on that, and you already see like a red and a green underneath the minute hand. What you're going to do is drag it, stop, and that shows you in the green area how much time has passed. So if you want to figure out how many minutes passed from 6:55 until 7:25, all you have to do is count by fives. This is where we started. You see the gray minute hand underneath, and then you count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 30 minutes passed from 6:55 until 7:25. Let's try to solve a problem from today's lesson with the virtual clock tool. Read it with me. Kalpana gets up at 7 a.m. She leaves the house at 7:30 a.m. Use the clock app to help you think about the situation. How long does it take her to get ready? How do you know? Explain your thinking. So let's go back to the virtual clock tool. So the problem says that Kalpana gets up at 7 a.m. and she leaves the house at 7:30 a.m. How much time has passed from the time Kalpana wakes up until the time she leaves the house? Well, we can use the new tool that we just learned, elapsed time. So I'm going to click on the blue arrow to begin my count. Right now it's 7 a.m. and then we will stop our count at 7:30. Let's see how much time has passed by counting the numbers by fives in the green area. So let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Oh wow, it has been 30 minutes from the time Kalpana got up until the time she had to leave her house. All right, let's continue learning about some other things that we can do with our virtual clock tool. Clicking on this image on the bottom allows you to decide if you want to divide your clock face into equal parts or fractions, like we've been learning in previous lessons. So let's say you wanted to divide your clock into halves or 2 parts. It will create a line straight down the middle. If you want to divide your clock into 3 parts, it is showing 3 equal parts or thirds. Or maybe you want to divide it into 4 parts. Clicking on this little drop allows you to change the background color by clicking on the colors down here. And if you click on this, it makes like a little blind appear. I feel like this is mostly for teachers. They can stretch it, cover the parts of the clock that maybe they don't want their students to see. And then click on the eyeball, makes it transparent. Click on it again, covers it. If you click on this image at the bottom, a little calculator will appear. If you click on this letter T, it allows you to type inside of a text box and change the color of the font. So I typed hi. You can make it larger by clicking on this letter A. Make it smaller by clicking on the smaller letter A. If you click on this pencil, you can choose to draw on the workspace. Your crayon will be selected, pencil or crayon. If you see the boxes in white, if you want to change the color of your crayon, you can click on this circle with the different colors. Now it's blue. If you want to make straight lines, this eraser is exactly what it sounds like, an eraser. If you want to erase all of your drawings, you click on the other eraser, and then you select clear, takes all of your drawings away. Now these last two icons, this key is mostly for teachers. If they have a share code that they would like to share with you for a specific lesson, they'll give it to you. And then this one is interesting because you can share your work. And there are different ways that you can share your work with your teacher. You can take a picture of it. You can save the image of everything you have in your workspace. Or you can just send the teacher the link to your work by clicking here where it says share a link, copy link. You can send that to your teacher as well. And then it also gives you a code for the clock that you made or you worked on. And you can share that code with your teacher, and then she can type it in here on the key and see what you did. If you click on this letter I, it gives you more information, different things that you can do. We learned the most important things that you can do with the virtual clock tool, but these are more helpful tips for you. I'm sorry, I forgot to cover two more little icons. If you want to copy the clock that you have, you can click here where it has two clocks, duplicate. It'll make an exact copy of your clock. And let's say you change your mind. No, I don't want that clock anymore. Make sure it's selected. This one is selected with the blue ring around. And then I can click on the garbage and throw it in the garbage. If you want to erase everything you have in your workspace, you can go back to these two arrows over here, like a circle going around and around. Clear, start over, yes. You learned so much today about how to use the virtual clock tool. I am sure you will become more comfortable as you keep using it as well. Great work today, mathematician. Until next time, bye-bye.